Vice Chancellor, other members of the management team, dear students, it is my pleasure to appear before you this morning to discuss this topic, finishing strong CGPA, a veritable tool. Of course, CGPA is an indication of the fruit of a student's hard work. I'd like to address our freshmen directly. In any academic environment, there is bound to be classification of students into hierarchical groups based on their performances in continuous assessment and examinations. In your secondary school, you would have encountered that in the form of positions after terminal examinations. In the university setting, we also have something close to that. We class students based on their academic performances using the grade point average and the cumulative grade point average. What is the difference? Is there any difference between grade point average and cumulative grade point average? Well, the grade point average is calculated for a single semester, whereas the cumulative grade point average is aggregately calculated for the entire duration of the course. So your GPA or grade point average is a number that indicates how well you score in your courses. And on average, it is meant to score usually on a CGPA scale between 0.0 and 5.0 during your studies and shows whether your overall grades have been high or low. So the GPA will indicate your performance in a semester, in a session, in a semester, and will tell us whether you have performed well or not. Now, in the same way that your professors and lecturers give you grades to evaluate your progress or success in their courses, your cumulative grade point average is a score used to evaluate your success during the entirety of a degree program, that is from the beginning to the end of your degree program. Your CGPA is a number that shows what you typically score in your classes throughout the semester and sessions. Your CGPA scores can go up and down throughout your time at the university and will change according to how much you improve your overall grades. In essence, your inputs will determine what your CGPA is like. If you are able to up the ante and score well in your examinations and continuous assessments, your CGPA will go up. In an instance where your performance has nosedived, it will also come down. So it's a reflection of your academic standing at any point in time. Now, the University of Ibadan is regulated by the National Universities Commission, just like other universities are equally regulated by the National Universities Commission. National University Commission is the regulator of university education in Nigeria. And for a few years, it has approved the grading system for all universities in the country. The universities are expected to conform to what is called BMAS, Benchmark Minimum Accreditation Standard, as set by the National Universities Commission. It is a basic document detailing the accreditation processes and conditions for all programs in the university. By programs, I mean courses of study, as we will understand them to be. Now, in the University of Ibadan, we have abstracted from the BMAS of the NUC, and we're using the 4.0 grading system. Now, this particular slide indicates the grading system of the University of Ibadan. I shall be explaining the columns one after the other. There are about 6 columns there. The first one talks about what is called the credit units. Each course that you write has a credit unit that is attached to it. It may be 2, it may be 3, it may be 4. And the credit units are so important because they indicate the number of contact hours that should be given to each course and the number of workload that students taking such a course should have. The second column, which you see there, indicates your percentage scores. You are graded over 100 for every course. So if you are able to score from both continuous assessments and examinations between 70 and 100, you have A as a grade, and that grade attracts a grade point of 4. Between 60 and 69, that's a B, that gives you 3 grade points. Between 50 and 59, that is a C, and that gives you 2 grade points. And between 45 and 49, that's a D, and that gives you 1 grade point. Between 0 to 44 is a E, and that gives you 0. It then means that in the University of Ibadan, 44 is the pass mark, not 40. 44 is the pass mark, not 40. Please take note of that. Now, how do we get the grade point average, which we have talked about earlier on? We derive the grade point average by multiplying 1 and 4 and dividing it by the total credit units. For a course, there's a credit unit. Let's say you take a course like ENG 211 as an example. The course is a 3-unit course. If you take that particular 3-unit course and you score 70, the grade point for 70 is 4. So your grade point average for that particular course is 3 times 4, which will give us 12 in that instance. If you now want to get your grade point average, what we do is to find the total of all the credit units for which you have registered, and then calculate the total of all the grade points which you made from each of those courses, and then divide the total of the grade points which you have made by the credit units which you have registered for. And that's where we get your grade point average at any point in time. If you want to get the cumulative grade point average, what we do is the same process, but this time around we're dealing with all courses that you might have written the duration of your study. Now, having explained this, let's talk about degree classification based on CGPA. Whatever point you make determines the class in which you are placed. If you have the grade point average of 3.50 to 4.00, you are a first class candidate. If you have that of 3.00 to 3.49, you are in the second class upper division. If you have 2.0 to 2.99, you're in the second class lower division. And if you have 1.0 to 1.99, you are in the third class rank, so to say. Anybody who has below 1.0, less than 1.0 has failed, and that's not certificated. Now, usually, sometimes the university asks students to withdraw from the university based on their poor academic performances. What does that mean? What does it mean to be asked to withdraw from the university? It simply means the university sends you away because of your poor academic performance. May we all not experience that in the course of our stay here. Now, what are some conditions that must be met so as to avoid being asked to withdraw by the university authority? The first one is that at the end of the first year, a student who has passed less than 24 units should be asked to withdraw from the university. Each course you take has some units attached to it. Now, if you put together the units of the courses which you have passed, they must not be less than 24 units. Anything less than 24 units, you'll be asked to leave the university. At the end of the second year, you have to have passed up to 48 units. At the end of the third year, 72 units. At the end of the fourth year, 96 units. So all these must have been passed. All these conditions must be met at the different stages of different years during the course of your studentship. Yeah. Now, duration of degree programs. The question is this: for somebody who has been admitted into the prestigious University of Ibadan for a 4-year course, what is the maximum number of years that person can use to study in a department for a program of 4 years? And this is what this slide talks about. The maximum number of years to be spent for the award of a first degree in the program of study shall not exceed an additional 50% of the normal duration of training for the program. 50% shall not exceed 50%. What does that even mean? If you're admitted for a 4-year course, you're supposed to spend 4 years. But let's say you are not able to meet the requirements for graduation after 4 years. You are allowed to spend half of 4 years as extra so that you can meet the conditions. That means you are allowed to stay for 6 years because half of 4 is 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. If you are admitted to study a 6-year course, you can stay for additional 3 years. That means you can spend 9 years, so to say. That's what this condition is saying. Beyond the extra 50% in terms of years, you cannot be in the university premises. Your studentship may not be able to be retained. You may not be able to retain your studentship except there are some other very serious interventions. This is the basic condition for being a student of this university till graduation. Now, if you move to the next slide talks about the importance of CGPA. We're talking about maintaining your CGPA. Why is it important? Why is CGPA so important? Because it's a measure of your intellectual ability. You want to know how brilliant you are. You want to know how well you have performed on the program. We look at your CGPA. Apart from it being a measure of your intellectual ability, one other thing about the CGPA is that the CGPA at the same time gives you access to certain things, certain advantages. If your CGPA is high and is good enough, you can apply for some scholarships. There are certain opportunities you can get. You can also be qualified to head certain organizations within the university, mostly student organizations. Some of them will require that you have a CGPA of a particular level, of a particular class, before you can be able to lead such organizations. Apart from this, it's also important for you to maintain a high CGPA, because maintaining a high CGPA affords you the chances of getting sponsored postgraduate studies in universities abroad. After your studying here, we would love to have you back as our postgraduate students. But if you don't come this way, you can go to other places in the world. We want to hear your name in Harvard. We want to hear your name in Princeton. We want to say we have a young man who is doing well in Yale. But for you to get into those big institutions abroad, you would have to have an acceptable CGPA high enough to get into those places. And so if you are eyeing that, you should then work on your CGPA and be consistent about it. Now, CGPA can also give you access to financial aids, like I said earlier. Apart from this, another important reason why you should have a good CGPA is because employers look at it when they want to employ. Employers want to employ people that are trainable, that are minimally trainable, that are with that can work under minimal supervision too. Anybody who has undergone university education has been able to have an appreciable CGPA should be able to fit into any role in an organization. So organizations look for this also. Employers, even before they encounter you personally and get to listen to you at interviews, first of all, encounter your CV, which will show your class of degree. And your class of degree is determined by your CGPA. So this is quite important. Apart from that, there is this inner joy that you get, inner joy and sense of confidence that you get from having a good CGPA. There's this joy that comes from completing the task, as challenging as earning a degree. So if you do that, you give yourself so much joy too, and you'll be happy. That builds your confidence, and with your confidence, you can open many other doors. So a good CGPA is a confidence builder too. Apart from that, it being a confidence builder, a good CGPA affords you the chances of moving from one profession to the other. If you leave your profession and you want to go to another profession, a related one, they look at your CGPA to see if you can cope in that particular new role or in that new profession. And that is also good. It's a kind of social mobility at the same time. Now, having looked at the importance of the CGPA, also during convocation ceremonies, you are recognized. You are happy to shake the Vice Chancellor. You're happy to have a handshake with the Chancellor of the university. And you're happy when your name is mentioned and are given faculty prizes, departmental prizes, and other awards by private organizations and individuals who are interested in the development of younger minds in our country. So your CGPA is quite important. Now that we have underscored the importance of your CGPA, the question is, what can you do to maintain your CGPA? There are a number of things you can do to maintain your CGPA. The first one is that you should attend classes, tutorials, and practicals regularly and punctually. Either it is a physical class or a virtual class, be there as and when due. Take your classes as seriously as possible. Then get organized. Have a diary. Don't just wake up without a direction each day. Let each day have its own direction. Live in an intentional manner. Live consciously. Be organized. Have a record of where you want to be at a particular point in time. Okay, when would you be in classes? When would you have time to look at your notes? When would you study? When would you be attending to assignments? In the midst of all of this, to get some sleep. It is not good for you to overstretch yourself and then break down, especially when you pile up things and say, okay, I'll go for nine classes. I'll go and read in the night, only during exams. Start your reading as early as possible, get enough sleep, so that what sleep does is to improve your level of concentration. And when your level of concentration is improved, you're able to organize pieces of information that you have encountered previously, and you're able to recall them easily. So please put this in mind, get organized, get some sleep. In addition to this, set a CGPA goal and reward yourself every semester, every session. What is your CGPA goal? What do you want to achieve? When you achieve that CGPA goal, what do? Reward yourself, take yourself out, buy yourself a drink, buy yourself a buffet, buy yourself a drink, buy yourself things that you've always wanted to get. Reward yourself, make yourself happy because you have worked for it. And in case you set certain CGPA goal and you're not able to meet those goals, there's no cause for alarm. You can set another goal against the next semester or the next session. You don't have to be suicidal because of that. Just know that the opportunities are there again. Next session is there, next semester is there. Just up your ante and do your best. And then check what might have been responsible for your not having met the set goal in the first place. Then start immediately. Don't wait till it is time for examination. Start studying now. Start studying now. Take advantage of all these resources that are around you and start studying now. Then, apart from that, it's also important for you to find a quiet place where you can study. Can you find a quiet place where you can study? Is it the school library? Is it the reading room in your hall? Is it a classroom? Is it a lecture theater? Or other possible study centers that are scattered all over campus? Find a unique place where you find your peace and where you can study. It's important that you find such a quiet place. Also, there are senior students there. There are tutorial assistants. There are more experienced classmates. There are even your lecturers that you can talk to. Okay? They can show you the way. Some of your seniors have been through this stage before and they know what it takes. So they can assist you by giving you some interesting information about lecturers, about classes, about specific courses, and you should talk to them. Then it's important for you to also limit your social interactions. You should go to social events to recharge your batteries from time to time, because all work and play make Bolu a dull girl. But at the same time, you must limit your social interactions. There must be value you are getting from social interactions. Leave out valueless social interactions so that you can have enough time to what? Enough time to study. And that's why you are here in the first place. Then you should study and study and study. Set aside time, specific amount of time to study each day. That will prevent the need for cramming and doing all night, very close to examinations. And that will prevent you wearing out yourself in the period of examinations and breaking down. Please organize yourself from the beginning. Have a timetable for reading. Have specific time, okay, allotted for reading. Now, in conclusion, I'd like you to keep in mind the central thing in our talk today. Keep in mind that your CGPA is important and will follow you for the rest of your life. Keep working hard and striving for a higher CGPA. It is worth the extra effort and the sacrifice of a few Friday nights and weekends to earn a high CGPA in university and finish very strong. It is very important. I pray that may you not be tsunamized because of an inadequate CGPA. May you not be carried away from the first and the best university by CGPA-induced erosion. May you have enough CGPA that will make your name appear in the book of life throughout your studentship in the university. You have started very strong. You are indeed very strong. That is why you are here. You have started strong. May you be able to finish strong. May you be stronger and at the strongest. Thank you very much.